Today I'm going to give away a free t-shirt, bring you a Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight, bring you comics news, and reveal the books I bought this week. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching the Comic Hero Show. Now kick that logo! Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Dudley, and I am the Comic Hero. Well, my birthday was a few days ago, but I'm going to celebrate on this episode. And this is a birthday edition Comic Hero tee. Right here you have the CH, and then right behind it is the number 38, which is how old I am. Yeah, that's right, folks. I'm 38 years old. I don't look a day over 16, but that's a good thing. And there's a reason behind the colors that I chose for the shirt, and it has to do with this birthday gift that my sister got me, which is like the greatest birthday gifts ever. She ended up giving me tickets to my first ever Dallas Mavericks home game. Now the Dallas Mavericks are my favorite NBA team. I've been a fan of them since the 97-98 season, and these are their colors. And I mean, Gabrielle, I know you're watching this, and I love you. I thank you for that gift. And speaking of gifts, every day that we live is a gift. Not just every day, not just every hour, not just every minute, but every second is a gift. And I'm very thankful for the 38 years that I've been on this earth, and hope, and I just pray for many more years to come. Now, before I close this opening segment, y'all probably noticing something quite different behind me, and that is I have a wooden sign, and this is the wooden sign. It was made by my good friend Kirsten Olsen from Haynesville, Louisiana, by way of Homer. She has her own. She works for a construction company, but she also has another company that she has that she does on the side called Kirsten's Custom Wooden Creations. Y'all go look her up on Facebook. She did a wonderful job on this, and I hope that Kirsten, I love you. Thank you so much, and I hope you like the Comic Hero tees that I made for you in exchange for that. By the way, y'all probably wondering what tees did I make here. I made her a Captain America Comic Hero tee, a Thor Comic Hero tee, and a Storm Comic Hero tee. And if you would like your own shirt, just let me know down below if you're watching this directly from YouTube, or you're watching this from any social media outlet, and then go ahead and let me know. All right, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. All right, on last week's episode, I asked, which member of the Justice League did Superman give a piece of kryptonite to in case he ever went rogue? Well, the correct answer is Batman. Now, think about it. Who else in the Justice League would be bold enough to use kryptonite on Superman? Besides Batman, probably not anyone else. Definitely not Wonder Woman. But the answer is Batman, and 15 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, their names have been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is Richard Stewart from West Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Richard. You win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. All right, here's the question for next week's episode, and this is an Incredible Hulk question. True or false? The Incredible Hulk was inspired by a real woman who lifted a car to save her baby. Everyone who answers correctly been in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. All right, now the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown fight is normally reserved for viewers. I usually give viewers the opportunity to submit their request, and I've gotten a lot of great ones from D'Angelo Blue and a lot of folks from Northeast Ohio. But because it's my birthday, or this is the birthday episode rather, I've come up with my own, and this one is one that I've been thinking of for the last few months. It's Superboy versus Superboy. Superman's son against his clone. Representing DC, we have the Connor Kent Superboy. And also representing DC, we have the John Kent Superboy. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call
the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown.
Welcome to the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Today, it's the Connor Kent Superboy versus the John Kent Superboy. The Connor Kent Superboy possesses superhuman peak condition, superhuman strength, superhuman hearing, superhuman durability, enhanced agility and reflexes, invulnerability, decelerated aging, tactile telekinesis, and telepathy. He also possesses temporary abilities which are heat vision, ice breath, flight, and heat breath. The John Kent Superboy possesses superhuman strength, hearing, speed, invulnerability, heat vision, X-ray vision, telescopic vision, freezing breath, super breath, and flight. Who will win? These two would match each other blow for blow. However, Connor knows he has the upper hand because of his psionic abilities. He then uses them on John by telepathically telling him, "You know I'm going to win. My psionic abilities are my aces in the hole." John then charges at Connor, but the latter freezes him in his tracks with his tactile telekinesis. Just as he's going for the final blow, Superman shows up. He says nothing, but has a paralyzing scowl on his face. The two Superboys look at Superman, look at each other, then look at Superman and say, "Okay, we're done." Superman wins. And that concludes this fight on the Comic Hero Throwdown Showdown. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed that fight. I'll have another fight for next week. Now it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, there are four things we're going to talk about in this segment of Comically Speaking, and the first one is the earth-shattering news that Matthew McConaughey has been casted as Harvey Dent in the Batman movie directed by Matt Reeves and starring Robert Pattinson. I like this movie. At first, I kind of raised an eyebrow when I first heard about it, but then I thought about it. The way that they could portray him is that he'll be this guy from the South who comes up to Gotham City to become a DA, and I think he's gonna be great, and hopefully down the line we'll be seeing Two-Face. All right, now the second thing is the news of the sequel to Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. It's been officially announced it's going to be April 8th, 2022. Now, that's still less than 3 years away. But after seeing the first movie, I finally got a chance to see it. It's definitely going to be worth the wait. And then I found out some other news regarding that movie, is that the Japanese Spider-Man, which is a cult favorite, it was also in Spider-Geddon and in the Spider-Verse miniseries for Marvel, he will be in the movie. Now, say what you will about the Japanese Spider-Man, but in the comics, the way he's portrayed, he is a straight-up boss. And this makes me... just finding out that this Spider-Man is going to be in it, I really can't stand the wait. April 8th of 2022 can't get here any faster. Wow. I just thought about it. When that movie comes out, I'll be 40. Okay. Now the third thing is that Michael Fassbender, who previously played a younger Magneto in some of the X-Men movies, has been eyed to play Doctor Doom in the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Heck yeah! I'm totally on board with that. I think he would make a great Doom, and he'd make a very sinister Doom. And we've already seen how sinister he can be as Magneto. But and for him to play the arch nemesis of the Fantastic Four, I think Marvel would really hit pay dirt if they casted him as Victor Von Doom. Now, but here's my plea to Marvel Studios. Marvel Studios, if you cast Fassbender as Doctor Doom, that would be great. But please, for the love of all that live and breathe, don't use the Doctor Doom origin from the Ultimate Marvel Universe. Oh! I'm sorry, but I mean, 20th Century Fox has used that twice. And I mean, everyone that's been a fan of Fantastic Four knows that in the regular Marvel Universe, Doctor Doom did not get his powers the same way as the Fantastic Four. And for them to do that again, I'm sorry, that'd be 3 strikes. Don't do it, Marvel. Use his original origin. Use the origin in the regular Marvel Universe. Marvel, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't use the Ultimate Marvel Universe. Leave it alone. There were some good things that came out of Marvel Universe, but Doctor Doom's origin was definitely not one of them. Let's be honest. Alright, and the final thing. Geeks Along the River. Now, it was originally supposed to be for October 26th, but inclement weather pushed it back 2 weeks. And it's going to be this Saturday at the Downtown River Market in Monroe. I'm going to be a guest and vendor there. This is my first ever con. And yes, I consider Geeks Along the River to be a con. It's going to be my first con. Very excited about it. Very thankful for it. And y'all come out and it's not only support me, but also support all the other vendors there, all the other guests there, and also support the musical guest, the Mitch Lang Band. These guys have written 2 albums about DC and Marvel characters, and they're coming out with a 3rd album at the beginning of the next year that talks about the manga and anime series Naruto. So I've heard some of their songs. My favorite is the song about Spider-Man called The Web Slinger. Love the heck out of that song. Love the heck out of this group. So y'all come on out to Geeks on the River on Saturday in Monroe. It's the 4th annual one. It's gonna be a party. Now I have some more news regarding the Batman movie. The Matthew McConaughey topic that I covered, that was only a taste of some things that I found out recently. I'm going to wait until next week to cover that. But anyway, that's it for Comically Speaking. Now let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is Black Panther number 17. Excalibur number 1. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man number 13. The Superior Spider-Man number 12. finally, Venom number 19. Alright, that's 5, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 9,976. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode. True or false? The Incredible Hulk was inspired by a real woman who lifted a car to save her baby. Everyone who answers correctly will be in the drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Richard Stewart from West Monroe, Louisiana, who won a free tee on this week's episode. Oh, you know, at 38 years on this earth, and, you know, I'm very thankful for, you know, being here for this long, and you know, I just pray that I'll be here for many more years to come. And you know, just remember, any day you wake up to see is a gift. It's definitely a gift. Now, the road ahead for the show next week, I'm going to do a Veterans Day episode. You know, I said this on Facebook Live right before I did the show, but a lot of us get, you know, get Veterans Day mixed up with Memorial Day. Veterans Day is when we honor the men and women in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military who are still with us today. Memorial Day is when we honor the men and women that are served in any of the 5 branches of the U.S. military who are no longer with us. And I know quite a few U.S. veterans. 2 of them are my cousins. They both served in Operation Desert Shield and Operation Desert Storm. And then I know quite a few U.S. veterans that I went to either high school or college with. And this episode is for y'all. I love y'all. I thank y'all very much for the for serving. I mean, this country may have flaws, but compared to a lot of other countries in the world, we're still the best. Alright, I'm Victor Nunley on the Comic Hero. I'll see you this Saturday for Geeks Along the River, and I'll see you next week for episode 284. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, and happy birthday to me!